Throughout human history, we've encountered phenomena that defy easy explanation. Strange creatures glimpsed at the edges of our perception. Bizarre occurrences that challenge our understanding of the natural world. In an age of science and technology, these mysteries still persist. What lies beyond the boundaries of known science? Are these mysteries evidence of undiscovered species and unexplained natural phenomena? Or are they simply misconceptions, hoaxes, and wishful thinking? The human mind is naturally drawn to mystery. From ancient cave paintings depicting mysterious beasts to modern viral videos of unexplained phenomena, we've always been captivated by what we cannot fully comprehend. This fascination has driven exploration and discovery, but also created fertile ground for myths, legends, and occasionally deliberate deception. Today, we stand at a unique moment in history. Advanced technology allows us to probe deeper into natural mysteries than ever before, while simultaneously providing new tools to create convincing hoaxes. The internet enables rapid sharing of unusual sightings, but also the rapid spread of misinformation. Join us as we separate fact from fiction, examining the evidence behind some of nature's most perplexing enigmas. Welcome to nature's strangest mysteries, real or hoax. Part 1. Creatures of the Deep. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, yet we've explored less than 20% of its depths. This vast unknown has given rise to tales of mysterious marine creatures throughout history. The giant squid was once considered a sailor's myth. For centuries, tales of massive tentacled beasts attacking ships were dismissed as fantasy. It wasn't until 2004 that a live giant squid was finally photographed in its natural habitat, and 2012 when the first video footage was captured. A creature of legend became scientific fact. These elusive cephalopods can reach lengths of up to 43 feet and inhabit depths between 980 and 3,280 feet. Despite their enormous size, they remained hidden from scientific documentation for so long due to their deep habitat and possibly rare surface appearances. The journey from myth to documented species serves as a humbling reminder of how much remains unknown in our oceans. The megalodon, a prehistoric shark reaching lengths of 60 feet with teeth the size of a human hand, officially went extinct 3.6 million years ago. Yet sightings persist of unusually large sharks that match no known living species. Could some population have survived in the ocean depths? Scientists point to several explanations for these sightings. The Greenland shark, which can grow to 24 feet and live over 400 years, could account for some observations. Misidentification of whale sharks or basking sharks could explain others. Optical effects caused by water refraction can distort size perception, making normal sharks appear much larger than reality. Fossil evidence clearly documents the megalodon's extinction, and ecological considerations make its continued existence highly improbable. The energy requirements for a breeding population of such massive predators would be enormous, and the impact on marine ecosystems would likely be detectable. Yet the vastness of our oceans means we cannot claim absolute certainty about what lives in their darkest regions. The Loch Ness monster remains one of the world's most famous aquatic mysteries. Since the 1930s, hundreds of sightings have been reported of a long-necked creature in this Scottish lake. Despite numerous expeditions using sonar, underwater cameras, and DNA sampling, conclusive evidence remains elusive. The history of Nessie sightings reveals interesting patterns. The modern phenomenon began after a 1933 sighting that coincided with the opening of a new road alongside the loch, significantly increasing visitor traffic. The famous surgeon's photograph from 1934, which shaped public imagination of the creature for decades, was revealed as a hoax in 1994. Sonar contacts over the years have detected large moving objects, but provided insufficient detail for identification. Skeptics point to wave patterns, floating debris, and even swimming deer as potential explanations for sightings. A comprehensive 2019 environmental DNA study of Loch Ness found no evidence of unknown reptiles or marine creatures, instead suggesting that reported sightings might be large eels. The European eel can grow to impressive sizes, and their undulating swimming pattern could create the appearance of a series of humps moving through water. Loch Ness itself presents challenges as a potential habitat for a large unknown species. Its cold, murky waters contain limited food resources, and a breeding population of large animals would face significant evolutionary and ecological challenges in such an isolated environment. Sea serpent reports span centuries and continents, appearing in historical records from ancient times through the present day. The Cadborosaurus of the Pacific Northwest, Ogopogo in Canada's Lake Okanagan, and Champ in Lake Champlain represent similar aquatic mystery traditions. All feature long-necked serpentine descriptions and remain unverified by science, despite numerous reported sightings. Recent discoveries remind us that the ocean still holds many secrets. The coelacanth, a fish thought extinct for 65 million years, was discovered alive in 1938. The megamouth shark remained unknown to science until 1976. Just last year, researchers identified 2,000 previously unknown species in ocean depths. What else might await discovery? Part 2. Forest Enigmas. The world's forests harbor their own collection of mysteries, none more famous than Bigfoot or Sasquatch. For centuries, Native American traditions spoke of large, hairy humanoids in the forests of North America. Since the 1950s, thousands of sightings have been reported, along with footprints, hair samples, and controversial film footage. The Patterson-Gimlin film from 1967 remains the most famous purported evidence, showing what appears to be a large bipedal ape-like creature walking along a creek bed in Northern California. Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin captured the 59.5-second film while on horseback, claiming they encountered the creature unexpectedly. Decades of analysis have yielded conflicting conclusions about whether it shows a genuine unknown creature or an elaborate hoax. Film experts remain divided, with some claiming the natural movement and muscle flex visible would be impossible to fake with 1960s costume technology, while others point to inconsistencies suggesting a human in a suit. The film's chain of custody and circumstances have fueled ongoing debate about its authenticity. Footprint evidence presents similar controversies. Thousands of alleged Bigfoot prints have been collected, some showing dermal ridges, pressure points, and midfoot flexibility that advocates claim would be difficult to fake. Skeptics counter that many tracks show evidence of human manufacture, while genuinely unusual prints could come from known animals with distorted appearances due to melting snow or mud conditions. DNA testing of alleged Bigfoot hair and tissue samples has consistently identified known wildlife, primarily bears. A 2014 genetic study of 36 hair samples, attributed to Bigfoot or Yeti, all matched known species. Despite a lack of definitive biological evidence, sightings continue across North America's wilderness areas. From a scientific perspective, the existence of an undiscovered large primate in North American forests presents several challenges. Such a creature would require a sustainable breeding population, sufficient food resources, and habitat. Yet no remains have ever been recovered, no clear photographs or videos produced despite the proliferation of trail cameras, and no DNA evidence has survived scrutiny. However, the history of science includes numerous examples of creatures once thought mythical, later proven real. The mountain gorilla was considered legend until 1902. The giant panda wasn't confirmed to Western science until 1869. The okapi, sometimes called the African unicorn, wasn't documented until 1901. Beyond North America, similar cryptids appear in folklore worldwide. The Yeti, or abominable snowman of the Himalayas, the Yeren of China, the Yowie of Australia, and the Orang Pendek of Indonesia all represent reported large, undocumented primates. The Orang Pendek, a small bipedal primate reported in Sumatra's forests, has gained credibility among some scientists based on consistent eyewitness descriptions and footprint evidence. Could similar undiscovered primates exist elsewhere? Recent discoveries of human relatives like Homo floresiensis, nicknamed the Hobbit, in Indonesia show that other hominid species coexisted with modern humans relatively recently in evolutionary terms. Could isolated populations of other hominid species have survived into the present in remote areas? Most anthropologists consider this extremely unlikely in North America, given the continent's extensive exploration and development. The psychological dimensions of Bigfoot sightings cannot be ignored. Many reports occur in low-light conditions, at significant distances, or in brief glimpses, all situations where human perception is notably unreliable. The power of suggestion and expectation can dramatically influence what people perceive, especially in wilderness settings that naturally evoke primordial fears and heightened alertness. Part 3. Aerial phenomena. Moving from land and sea to sky, we encounter reports of unusual aerial phenomena that have puzzled observers for decades. Ball lightning represents one of the most scientifically accepted yet still mysterious atmospheric phenomena. Described as glowing, electrically charged spheres that appear during thunderstorms, these luminous orbs can reportedly move against the wind, pass through solid objects, and disappear explosively. While once dismissed as optical illusions or hallucinations, research now suggests ball lightning may form when lightning strikes soil, vaporizing silicon compounds that then oxidize and glow. Thousands of eyewitness accounts throughout history describe these glowing spheres, often 4–8 inches in diameter, appearing during thunderstorms. In 2014, Chinese scientists accidentally recorded the spectrum of ball lightning for the first time, providing valuable data about its composition. Laboratory experiments have succeeded in creating similar phenomena under controlled conditions, though the exact mechanisms behind natural ball lightning formation remain debated. The Hessdalen lights in Norway have been documented since the 1940s, unexplained luminous phenomena appearing over the Hessdalen Valley. Scientific monitoring stations established in the 1980s have recorded these lights using multiple instruments. The lights appear with varying brightness, colors, and behavior, sometimes hovering in place, sometimes moving rapidly. Theories range from combustible gases to piezoelectric effects in the valley's unique geology, but a definitive explanation remains elusive despite ongoing scientific study. Similar unexplained light phenomena have been reported worldwide: the Min lights of the Australian outback, the Marfa lights of Texas, and the Brown Mountain lights of North Carolina. Each has spawned local traditions and scientific investigations, with explanations ranging from bioluminescent organisms to unusual atmospheric reflections. The Brown Mountain lights, glowing orbs reported for centuries along this North Carolina ridge, demonstrate how natural phenomena can be interpreted differently across cultures. Cherokee legends attributed them to the spirits of warriors killed in ancient battles. Early European settlers considered them ghostly lanterns of a search party. Modern science suggests they may be electrical discharges from crystalline rocks under geological pressure, though this remains unconfirmed. Morning glory clouds represent another once mysterious aerial phenomenon. These rare, tube-shaped clouds can stretch for hundreds of miles. Once considered supernatural by indigenous Australians, they're now understood as a specific type of roll cloud formed by atmospheric wave patterns. Many unusual atmospheric phenomena, once attributed to supernatural causes, now have scientific explanations. Light pillars, sundogs, and fire rainbows result from specific interactions between light and ice crystals. Superior mirages and fata morgana effects can make distant objects appear to float or create phantom islands that aren't really there. The green flash at sunset, once considered sailors' folklore, is now understood as an optical phenomenon where atmospheric refraction briefly reveals the green wavelength of sunlight. Flying rods, mysterious cylindrical objects captured on video, were eventually identified as motion artifacts created by insects flying through frame during long camera exposures. Part 4. Mysterious sounds and vibrations. Our planet produces sounds and vibrations that have long perplexed scientists and spawned legends. The bloop was an ultra-low frequency underwater sound detected by Norway hydrophones in 1997. Too powerful to be made by any known marine animal, it sparked speculation about massive unknown creatures. Years later, scientists determined it matched the acoustic signature of ice shelf cracking and breaking, mystery solved through patient research. The Taos hum in New Mexico represents an ongoing enigma, a persistent low-frequency sound heard by some residents, but undetectable by standard recording equipment. Similar phenomena have been reported worldwide in locations including Bristol, England, Windsor, Ontario, and Auckland, New Zealand. Scientific investigations have proposed various explanations including industrial equipment, tinnitus, or unusual acoustic properties of certain geographical features, but no definitive answer has emerged. What makes the hum phenomenon particularly puzzling is that typically only 2 to 11% of local populations report hearing it, with middle-aged individuals more commonly affected. Attempts to isolate or record the sound have largely failed, raising questions about whether it might be internally generated in some listeners rather than an external sound. Some researchers have suggested it could result from sensitivity to electromagnetic fields, while others propose geological explanations like microseismic activity. In 2011, reports of mysterious booming sounds, sometimes called skyquakes, began increasing worldwide. These unexplained explosive noises, often accompanied by vibrations, have occurred in coastal North Carolina, central Oklahoma, and numerous other locations globally. Some cases have been attributed to military aircraft, mining operations, or meteorological phenomena, but others remain unexplained. Infrasound, sound below the range of human hearing, may explain some mysterious acoustic experiences. Certain natural phenomena like severe storms, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and even strong ocean waves can generate powerful infrasound waves that humans sense rather than hear. These low-frequency vibrations can cause feelings of unease, anxiety, and the perception of a supernatural presence. Some researchers theorize that infrasound might explain certain haunting experiences and feelings of dread in specific locations. The 52 Hz whale represents one of the ocean's most poignant mysteries. A whale that calls at a unique frequency, unlike any known species, detected consistently since the 1980s but never seen. Scientists debate whether it represents a hybrid, a malformed individual, or potentially the last of an unknown species. Its solitary call, never answered at its unusual frequency, has captured public imagination as a symbol of isolation. Part 5. Botanical Puzzles. The plant kingdom harbors its share of mysteries, from rapid adaptations to unexplained patterns. Fairy circles, perfect rings of barren land surrounded by grass, have puzzled scientists in Namibia and Australia. These circular patterns, ranging from 7 to 49 feet in diameter, create striking landscapes visible from the air. Local Himba people attribute them to divine intervention or dragon breath. Recent research suggests a combination of termite activity and plant competition for water, but debate continues among researchers studying different regions. The moving stones of Death Valley's racetrack playa perplexed visitors for decades as rocks appeared to move across the desert floor without human intervention, leaving trails behind them. The mystery was finally solved in 2014 when researchers documented thin ice sheets forming under specific conditions, allowing winds to push the rocks across the slick surface. Fairy rings of mushrooms have generated folklore for centuries. Science explains them as the visible fruiting bodies of underground fungal networks that grow outward from a central point, yet their perfect circular pattern continues to inspire wonder. Carnivorous plants like the Venus flytrap demonstrate remarkable adaptations that seem almost intelligent, trigger hairs that must be touched twice within 20 seconds to activate, suggesting a primitive memory mechanism to avoid false alarms. Studies reveal increasingly complex biochemical pathways behind these responses, blurring traditional distinctions between plant and animal behaviors. The phenomenon of rapid plant movements challenges our perception of plants as static organisms. The sensitive plant, Mimosa pudica, folds its leaves instantly when touched. Sundew plants curl their tentacles around prey in minutes. Recent time-lapse photography has revealed complex plant behaviors previously hidden by their slower timescale, showing growth patterns that appear almost deliberate and strategic. Plant communication represents another frontier of botanical mysteries. Research increasingly suggests plants exchange information through chemical signals and underground fungal networks, sometimes called the Wood Wide Web. These networks allow trees to send nutrients to struggling neighbors and warn others about insect attacks. This emerging understanding of forest ecosystems as interconnected communities rather than collections of individual plants has transformed botanical science in recent decades. Part 6. Investigating mysteries. How do scientists approach these natural mysteries? The methodologies involved in separating fact from fiction are critical to understanding what might be real and what likely is ent. Field research remains essential. Scientists venturing into remote habitats to document biodiversity and unusual phenomena firsthand. Camera traps, environmental DNA sampling, acoustic monitoring, and satellite tracking provide new windows into previously inaccessible environments. Biotelemetry has revolutionized our understanding of animal movements and behaviors. Radio transmitters attached to wildlife reveal migration patterns and behaviors that would otherwise remain hidden. When combined with GPS technology, these tracking systems have revealed unexpected journeys of marine animals diving to extreme depths or birds making non-stop flights across oceans. Citizen science has transformed the investigation of natural mysteries. Smartphone technologies enable millions of nature enthusiasts to document unusual sightings with GPS coordinates and timestamps. Large databases of observations reveal patterns that individual researchers might miss. Projects like iNaturalist, where users upload photos of organisms for community identification, have documented range expansions and even new species. Technological advances continue to unveil new mysteries even as they solve others. Deep-sea exploration vehicles have revealed ecosystems thriving without sunlight around hydrothermal vents. Cave mapping technologies have uncovered massive underground systems previously unknown to science. High-resolution satellite imagery has identified unknown geological formations in remote areas. Scientific hoaxes have complicated the search for truth. From the Piltdown Man to various cryptid specimens later revealed as fabrications, researchers must maintain healthy skepticism while remaining open to genuine discoveries. Notable hoaxes like the Cardiff Giant, the Fiji Mermaid, and the Jackalope demonstrate how convincingly artificial specimens can be presented as genuine unknown species. The psychology of perception plays a crucial role in evaluating reports of strange phenomena. Pareidolia, our tendency to see meaningful patterns in random stimuli, explains many face or figure sightings in natural formations. Expectant attention and confirmation bias influence what observers perceive, especially in low light or ambiguous conditions. Eyewitness testimony, while valuable as a starting point for investigation, has proven notoriously unreliable in scientific and legal contexts. Memory is constructive rather than reproductive, with details often unconsciously added or altered over time. Studies show that even confident eyewitnesses frequently misremember critical details, particularly when recounting unusual or emotionally charged events. Our journey through nature's strangest mysteries reveals a fundamental truth about human curiosity and scientific progress. The tension between skepticism and wonder drives discovery forward. Many mysteries once attributed to the supernatural or unknown creatures have yielded to scientific investigation, revealing mechanisms no less fascinating than the legends they inspired. Others remain genuinely puzzling, awaiting further research and technological developments. Perhaps the most compelling aspect of these natural mysteries is what they reveal about ourselves, our desire to explore, to know, to understand the world around us. Each generation pushes the boundaries of knowledge further, yet nature always seems to stay one step ahead, harboring new secrets just beyond our current understanding. The line between real and hoax isn't always clear-cut. Natural phenomena can be misinterpreted, evidence can be misidentified, and human perception is inherently limited. Scientific investigation doesn't diminish the wonder of our natural world. It deepens it, revealing complexities and connections more intricate than any myth. As technology advances and research continues, some of today's mysteries will undoubtedly be solved. But if history is any guide, new enigmas will emerge to take their place, continuing the endless, fascinating dialogue between human curiosity and the natural world. When we next encounter something strange and unexplained in nature, perhaps the most important question isn't immediately real or hoax, but rather, what might this teach us about the world we think we know?